March 2016. I have a bit of a problem. So, figures. I finally get in there, you know? I finally, um, I finally get in there for the possible hormone treatment therapy. I'm finally in there. I have my foot in the door, you know. Well, to be honest, it's more like I have like my hand on the doorknob and I'm slowly turning the knob and getting ready to open the door. That's what it is. That's what it's like. Because I don't necessarily have my foot in there yet because I don't know if I'm going to get hormones. I don't know if it's going to work. So I don't know. I'll still like have to see how that goes. I don't know. But I can tell you what I do know is, you know, there I was yesterday. And, you know, like I said, it seems like I'm getting in there a little bit. It's finally starting to try to work for me a little bit. And now I'm kind of confused. Now I'm confused again. Because, see, I may be able to get these hormones. But, ironically, I am starting to have a crush on my ex-girlfriend again. And we're trying to work things out and all that. And, you know, we're not putting labels on anything, but we're just talking slowly. And, you know, she's really far away. I'm far away from her. So we're far away from each other and we're doing this phone thing. And I know nothing has to stem from that. Nothing has to happen, but see, I miss her. I miss her. And to be honest, I've been thinking more about physical things. I want to get out and do things like dates and everything, romantic stuff with her again. But I miss feeling her. Like this is like a real talk right now. Like we've been talking for a few weeks and I've been thinking about the way that she used to touch me and this and that and you know, how she used to hold me close to her and like this was at the time like when I didn't mind it. When she used to like grab my hips and all of that. Yeah, so this was then. Like I said, I wouldn't mind it. Not so much now. But it's hard because it's like I'm not supposed to want that, you know? And even the person like the social worker, they were like, well, what do you mean you're not supposed to want that? That's a kind of funny word to use. You know, it's I'm not supposed to want to like be touched a certain way. You know, and the girl I'm talking about, you know, obviously she's a girl, so it would be like a lesbian thing. You know? I don't think of myself as that in every day-to-day life. I don't. Like, I'm just me, I'm just John, I'm just Johnny, you know? But see, I still have this female body, and I still have a desire for her to touch me in a certain way, and to look at me a certain way, and I realize it is in the old feminine way, and it kind of makes sense because of our past. Like, that's the way I'm used to us relating to each other like that. She would call me her girlfriend, her sweetie, and her girl, and you know, baby girl and all that stuff. And she would say, oh, you know, I can't wait to have your babies. And things like that. I know someone's like, what? Yeah, real talk though. Same for her, I'll be like, I can't wait to like have your babies and carry your babies and let's have a family. Let's be wives. I would imagine myself being a good wife, you know what I'm saying? Like a good wife. She come home from work, I'd be cooking dinner. I'd be like, dinner's ready, and she'd come up behind me late after work and she, hug me from behind, put her hands over my stomach, squeeze me from behind, pick me up, we start kissing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. And sometimes even the opposite, where I was the one who would come home and I would do exactly what I just said, like literally, to her. But to be honest, it is a little bit more of the first one, because I noticed with her, I am a little bit more, to be honest, a little bit more submissive, like laid back. It depends, like with different chicks. Okay, with this other girl, I was the more dominant one. You see what I'm saying? And whether we're talking like a lesbian or, like the lesbian stud reference or, the trans guy reference, whatever. See, as a stud, I remember when I was like, well, I'm a stud, I guess, because I'm like an aggressive woman, when I just went along with that. And sometimes I'll admit I even have taken some pride in that. Well, there's still this pressure to be the dominant. There really is this pressure. And where does it come from? It comes from, binary ways of thinking. It comes from the binary ways of thinking. It does, It comes from that weak and from that, like, hard, aggressive mindset. And I understand that. I understood it then. Doesn't mean I always liked it, but that's just, it's like, what else did we have to go off of? Like us, like us lesbians in the community. Like, to be real, our roles, they are somewhat built off of the binary. There are people who some people like to think it's always just either like you're a femme or you're a stud. No, there's plenty in between, and I know sometimes when I did want to be more submissive with the other girl, I felt ashamed. Why? I felt ashamed because I'm like, well, because, like I had that natural, more like masculine representation, and I liked it, I didn't mind it. I loved it. But, yeah, it's different now. All I know is that, I'm trans, so to speak. And it's like, I even talked about the perfect scenario for me. If I could just be John all the time, be recognized as John, be called Sir and Mr. in public, and then we're just being my lady, like behind closed doors, you know what I'm saying? Just us. Sometimes, like, I could have that set of, I could have that femininity and it's okay. And I could be like, the one who's submissive and the one who cries a lot and the one who's weaker, so to speak, whatever, the one who allows themselves to be taken over more easily. That's like the perfect scenario with me and a woman, but yet she still respects me as a man and as her man at the same time. And again, this is all without hormones. You know what I'm saying? One thing my therapist said is, the reason why it's hard for you to love is because you haven't felt love anywhere else. You've been searching for love and you don't know how to implicate love. And ironically, my ex, she said the same thing, She didn't know how to love me. And it seemed crazy because I was like, well, okay, so the things you used to do, how is that in any way love? Like, how is that in any way, okay? Because that wasn't love. That that was just like psychotic madness. It was just, anyway. Well, she said she knows and she apologizes. And, she explained more, and, I can understand because she would go home to just like the toughest situations, in group homes, foster care. And she would like abusive people, like beat the shit out of her little foster sister and threaten to do the same to her. So, I get it. She had a really, really tough situation. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I'm trying to find like where I stand. I really am. Because like I want to be like this feminine thing with her. But like everywhere else, I'm like this tough, plain thing. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because I feel like the decision has to be made. And also, I know it's wrong to not tell her. I still haven't told her that I'm trans. Like, she's heard, she's like, what's John? Like, what's up with the name John? Why John? I mean, we haven't gotten deep into it, but I know I need to tell her because, like, what I'm doing with not telling her, that's the same as all those other girls before who used to, they lead you on and they don't tell you, hey, actually, I only like boys, or actually, I like boys and girls. You know what I'm saying? It's like those girls who I used to deal with, and I'll be so sweet to them. I'll be like the little puppy, I'll give them anything and everything. And then they dish out, for whatever. It's not right. It's not right. All I know is that, this is a long video, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at this, but this is like, I'm gonna talk about like confusion, part like 1, because this is like it's really confused. It's really confusing, I don't know like where I'm going with myself now. I don't know like what I'm doing. All I know is that it's like confusing. So